People who smile at you, and each time I stray. Chicago is something my way.
Oh.
Chicago is dun 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 dun. Anyway.
Oh, see, Shandy's, you brought back Andy's song. Oh, that's sweet. Dear Shandy. Welcome back to another Dear Shandy Golden Bachelorette recap, listeners. Hello, Andy.
Hello.
How are you today? Are you doing well?
You know what I'm doing?
What?
Well, you know what I'm feeling?
What?
I'm feeling protected.
Oh, by the Shandies. We think that review, that the person might have taken it down.
Yeah, I think it's gone. I don't see it.
Because we got an email notification. You had read it in the email.
Yeah.
So we get an email every time someone leaves a review. And that's what made you kind of sad last week. And I think somewhere between us announcing it and the Shandies coming to our defense, that person took it down.
I not only think they took it down, I think they have double locked their doors and they're hiding in the fetal position, holding a knife in the corner of their bedroom.
Oh, our Shandies, you guys are so sweet. We feel so defended, really.
The Shandy mob is in my heart.
Yes.
I am telling you right now, I read every single comment. And every single one touched me. And I seriously, this is no jokes aside, this is a no joking time. Ready?
Yes.
And on 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm not joking anymore.
No.
Nothing's a joke.
No.
I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I am very touched and I am very seen.
Oh.
And I love you guys.
Oh, Andy really was. He felt so much better. I cannot stress this enough. And I should reveal.
I was embarrassed, actually.
Yeah, well,
I felt ashamed that I even brought it up.
I was about to share some BTS, which apparently I can't say. Behind the scenes, apparently BTS is a K-pop group.
Oh, that's right.
But some behind the scenes is Andy didn't want me to share the thing about the review.
No, I was ashamed.
He wanted me to cut it from that recap. And I said, no, Andy, stop being ashamed. Like the Shandies just want to know you. And if you're not in a good mood, and that's the reason why they would want to know. And so you proved me right. And this is a giant I told you so.
Oh.
Anyway, no, seriously, we're so thankful. And I think that might be it for housekeeping.
No. No, there is one other big piece of housekeeping. Sharleen had her premiere of her opera in Wexford, Ireland, and she absolutely slayed it.
Thank you, husband. Yes, we had our opening night on Sunday, and actually, Andy got recognized by Irish Shandies.
Yes, 2 Irish, possibly 2. One may have just been related and joined in a pair, but there was an Irish Shandy, and I was so pleased because I thought we would spend our whole time in Ireland without any Irish Shandies.
Yes. But no. At the opera.
There was at least one.
And shall we get going, Andy, recapping episode 6, aka Hometown Week of Joan's season of The Golden Bachelorette.
Let's do.
Okay, I will say, do we want to do some overall thoughts going into this? I was pleasantly surprised by this episode.
Yeah, me too.
This episode rejuvenated me in terms of this season. So we pick up in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, where Guy impresses Joan with his boat.
The boat.
I mean, this was pretty nice.
A man loves to show off a boat.
He does. A car or a boat?
A boat, no. But it's a car. It's like
it's less.
A lot of guys have a car.
Yes.
Not many guys have a boat. And when a guy shows off his boat, you can see he's got boat showing off face.
Yeah. Guy did show off his boat with a certain
Yeah.
But you know what? It's cute. I think it's cute when someone really, you could tell Guy has probably worked for that boat.
Of course.
He saved lives to have a boat.
Yeah.
That's a win-win right there.
Yeah, he wasn't just slinging money around.
No, I like to think of an ER doctor having a boat.
Yeah, every ER doctor should have a boat. It should be, the government should just give them boats.
Yes, exactly, because they have to deal with a lot of stress.
Yeah.
They need to unwind on the water. So Guy in his ITM says, Joan makes me feel accepted, validated, and desired. I thought this was really sweet, the specificity of that.
Yeah.
Guy, I mean, his family is so lovely. They are very in touch with their emotions, it seems.
Oh, yeah.
So they make wishes. Apparently, we make wishes at Lake Tahoe. And then they have a a little peck. I still am not.
No.
I'm not. I'm
I
not
mean,
buying
Guy's
it.
giving it his all. I'll give it. I mean, Guy really, I think of the 4 guys, and this is going to be controversial, I think Guy wants it the most.
Ooh, I don't know if that's that controversial.
Interesting.
I think Guy really wants it bad too. I also think just based on how these hometowns went, you get to meet all their families, you get to meet Guy's sisters and his children. Like there's such an emotional openness to his family, which means that he's emotionally open generally.
Yeah.
And you just felt like he's the kind of person who goes on The Bachelorette and falls in love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Meanwhile, you compare that to someone like Jordan, who's, you get more of like a skeptical,
absolutely
protected vibe from him. Okay, so they now chat on dry land. He says
By the way, that lake,
Mm-hmm.
we got to talk about Lake Tahoe.
Oh,
Tremendous lake.
yes.
The biggest alpine lake in North America.
Really?
It is an incredible body of water. It is clear. It is beautiful. It is enough drinking water to feed America for probably 1,000 years.
Really? Did you just happen to know that?
Yeah, I've done some research on lakes, but I got into this thing with lakes where I didn't understand the difference between a pond and a lake. I wanted to really understand bodies of water better.
Uh-huh.
And now I know. I understand how
Andy,
they work.
is this your nature nook? Someone said nature nook.
Oh,
Andy's nature nook.
It's a micro nook.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice. I suspect Lake Tahoe has been discovered in the real estate department and is probably not cheap.
Oh, no. That's...
I don't actually know, but
it's unbelievably expensive.
Okay, so is that like some of the most expensive lake real estate?
I believe
it's
not cheap to live anywhere on Lake Tahoe. I think
right.
it's all expensive. But I'm just saying the lake itself is an excellent body of water.
Okay.
As far as bodies of water go, if you were in trouble, if it was the end of the world and you wanted to be near good, clean drinking water,
make your way to Nevada.
Lake exactly.
Okay. So he says the prize at the end is worth taking any risk. And Joan once again touches on feeling guilty, on feeling like she needs to let go of John in order to move forward in this. And I loved his response here. He said he's not trying to replace John. He sees her in there, gesturing her heart. And he says, take all the time you need.
Oh.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah.
And now they're in Reno where, I mean, he has an enormous family. There are a lot of people at this hometown. And in talking about what a good guy Joan thinks Guy is, she tells the story about Charles L's medical question, which brings us Word Watch 1, Andy, rather unexpectedly. We had to rewind because we almost missed this one. Joan says Charles' wife passed away from a brain aneurysm.
Yeah.
It's kind of
not a very celebratory Word Watch. But.
Joan chats with Guy's sisters, but I was really touched by her interaction with Greer in learning that Greer's husband also passed away, and they just sort of like exchange. I don't know. There was a moment here. We don't see this on TV a lot where Greer's like, "Oh, when did your husband pass?" And Joan says, "Oh, this many years ago," and then they share how old their husbands were when they passed. I mean, it was just like a moment of connection. It was somber, but it was a moment of connection, of like comfort for each other. I just thought that it was like kind of like darkly beautiful in a way. Guy and his daughter Mackenzie chat. She says just putting himself out there is part of the process of moving forward. I mean, this family just seems so well balanced and smart and cool. And Guy in his ITM talks about how there's been a sort of role reversal. They are now parental towards him. He seems like a cool dad.
Honestly, that sounds really nice.
It does.
It sounds nice to be like, I think often parents resist being parented by their children, but I would be into that.
No, I think they don't resist it, but they deny that it's happening.
Right.
That's what bothers me.
Oh, but I would be into it.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, give it to me.
Yeah.
I did a lot of work for many years. I want to be parented.
Yeah. I think that...
And I need to be parented, because adults do need to be parented.
Oh, big time.
They start to slip. You know what the problem with being an adult is? There comes a point...
You rest on your laurels.
Yeah, you're just like, I know, I'm an adult. I know everything I need to know. Now I'm going to learn like skills and kind of, some social stuff.
Yeah,
but that's it.
Social stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's true. And then you start to plateau.
Yeah, and you forget about like how to take care of yourself and how to just kind of do things right and just get with the times.
Yeah.
And that's what the kids are there for.
Yes.
They have to tell you, look, you're doing this wrong. You got to do this. It's going to be good for you.
They keep you young.
Keep you young.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Children keep you young.
And I got the feeling the guy was into it. He was like, I made these kids and now I get to be taught how to do things better.
What I loved is that he just acknowledged it for what it was.
Yeah.
He's like, there's been a role reversal. They're parenting me.
Yeah.
How nice.
It was nice.
So his sons ask Guy on a scale of 1 to 10 how Guy is feeling, and he says a 9.5. That's very high.
I mean, why is it not a 10?
And then when he's asked if he thinks he could propose, he thinks and then says yes.
And I believe it. You know what he did? He did an emergency room decision.
Oh.
It was like, should we operate? Mm-hmm. Is it worth it? And he has to think about it. And then he's like, all right, let's do it.
You know, I do imagine in his profession, he has to be very decisive.
I would say that some of the most decisive people in the world have to be emergency room doctors.
Yeah.
It would be reasonable to assume that all other decisions in life are easy.
Yeah, that's what you would assume.
Yeah.
Well, you tell me. You're the one who has a friend who works in pediatric ER. One of Andy's closest friends.
Yeah.
Like a childhood friend is a pediatric.
Which is almost a higher level of emergency room.
Okay, so does he...
kids. It's like horrible.
How is he with decisions?
Excellent.
Really?
Doesn't sweat him.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised he doesn't seem like the kind of person that would be.
Right. But he's an emergency room doctor.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, wow.
Yeah, decision making is nothing. It's what color drape are we going to get?
Yeah.
Blue. I don't care.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Wow.
I'm dealing with people dying.
Okay, wow. What a fun fact, Andy. Thank you for sharing
It's
that.
probably not a fact. I think it's definitely in the opinion category.
So now Guy chats with his sisters and they love Joan. Very high grades all around. And he tearfully says he can love again and be in love again. And they chat outside now, him and Joan. And right on schedule, he says he has fallen for her. I mean, Guy,
I don't think Guy's an amazing actor. I really think he's in love with Joan.
I completely agree. And I cannot believe this is happening because this whole time I've been like, okay, Guy, like I've been rolling my eyes over the Guy thing. I really do not think Guy is winning, but this hometown was extremely convincing.
I agree.
They did a very good job of this.
You know what I think is happening? The resume and the desire on Guy's part are adding up to her actually liking Guy.
Totally. And that's
like she
powerful.
actually, I think she likes Guy, but I don't think she loves Guy.
No.
And I don't think she ever will love Guy.
No.
But I think the combo of the resume and his desire is now almost equaling I love you.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I know I have dated people like that in the past where it has made the relationship actually more of a relationship than it probably ever should have been because of that combination of those two things.
Right.
I'm sure you would say the same.
I think there's really three things. Like if you want to boil it down to the three basic pillars, there's how much does this person love and care about me?
Yeah.
How good are they on paper? And how much do I love and care about them?
Yeah.
And if you have 2 out of 3, it's not bad.
Yeah.
That ain't bad.
Yeah. And it's weird to distill it down in that way, but I do think resume on paper, it matters in a like, am I embarrassed to be seen with this person kind of way?
Yeah. No, totally. That can ride you out a few months.
Yeah. You can earn you an actual relationship. I've done it.
Yeah, I really don't like this guy, but you know. Does make 6 figures.
We're not just talking about money.
No, we're not talking about money.
We're not talking about a Lake Tahoe boat necessarily, Andy.
No, I brought it down to that level. That was a joke.
That's not what we were talking about.
No, not money.
Okay, so now we are brought to Chicago for Pascal's hometown.
My kind of town. Do you want to sing it?
Oh, Andy, you've brought back song.
Yeah.
The Shandies gave you some
wind. Yeah, they gave me
wind.
song. I had no song last time.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's about Chicago? My kind of
Sinatra,
town.
I mean, Sinatra made it famous.
Really? Oh, it wasn't his song?
Chicago is my kind of town.
Oh, yeah,
Chicago is my kind of people too.
Oh, you know,
people who smile at you, and each time I stray. Chicago is something my way.
Oh.
Chicago is dun 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 dun. Anyway.
Oh, see, Shandy's, you brought back Andy's song. Oh, that's sweet. You know, I like Chicagoans.
I like Chicago. Not a bad city.
Yeah, I like Chicago. I like Chicagoans. There's like a New York light.
Yeah, they got a good attitude.
All the Bachelor
Every time
guys,
I meet someone from Chicago, I like them. Well, I've never met someone from Chicago I didn't like.
I've met a lot of Bachelor people that I'm like, about. But when they're from Chicago, I almost always am like,
Yeah.
And it's unrelated to the fact that they're from Chicago. Like
No.
it's sort of like, oh, that's what the connecting
No,
the dots, but I just like them.
I find out later that they're from Chicago.
Kenny,
Joe, grocery store Joe.
yeah,
And
Bukowski, yeah,
Solid dudes.
yes,
Solid.
Okay, so Pascal,
Bad pizza though. I won't do it. I will not, under any circumstances, give the credit that people think is owed to deep dish pizza. Won't do it.
You don't like excess crust.
The ratio's off.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yeah, pizza should be bread light,
Yes,
toppings heavy.
yes.
That's my opinion.
Okay.
But the bread has to be good though. Very good. The bread ironically makes the pizza, but the bread shouldn't be a starring role. That's the balance.
Andy, not only is your song back, but your tangent is also back. This is so sweet. You're yourself again. Oh,
I need the Shandies.
you do. What would you do without them?
Very powerful parasocial relationship.
So Pascal takes Joan to his salon, and Andy, you said, it's like Vidal Sassoon.
You know, I assume that's funny, but I don't know why. And I feel like I'm not in on the joke.
You know, what was funny about it is you weren't wrong. But it was also cute. It was like the only salon or like famous salon owner you could think of. You're like, Vidal Sassoon. And Vidal Sassoon is so, you know, it was ubiquitous. Yeah, it is a little passe, but also really ubiquitous. Like it became the household name of like high-end salons. So it was just really cute how you blurted that out.
I'm going to continue using Vidal Sassoon as the quintessential example of a salon.
As you should.
Until the day when literally salons don't even exist anymore.
Yeah.
And people are like, wow, that guy's really old.
Well, then they really give a slight tour of the salon, and you said, it's like a department store. This was an impressive salon.
Was it not? I know probably the things I'm saying are dumb, but wasn't that the biggest salon you've ever seen?
It was beautiful. And I confess I had already seen it online because when I heard he owned a salon in Chicago, that's kind of unique, right? So being the girly girl that I am, I had to scope it out. And it was so impressive.
It was as big as I expected a Pascal salon should be, but I didn't know salons got that big. I like quints, I really do. Easy on the eyes and the wallet too.
It is easy on the eyes. And look at your sweater. Did you know that sweater was a mere $59.90, even though it's 100% Mongolian cashmere. And by the way, it's good cashmere because I have had cashmere. It says 100% cashmere. It looks like crap on the second wear. Because you've worn this a ton. It's one of very few sweaters you've brought on this trip.
We'll talk about versatility. I've worn this with 10 different outfits.
Yes.
This has been worn half the times I've worn clothes.
Yes. So you might be hearing us talk about these beautiful clothes and thinking, oh, but those are out of my price point. Well, you would be mistaken because Quince, this is what they're becoming known for. Quince is taking over the fashion world with not only their styles and their quality, but the prices. Because we are talking prices that are 50 to 80% less than you would expect. They partner directly with the manufacturers and pass those savings on to you. So instead of paying for a very expensive little label.
And lest you think this is too good to be true, you fool! Quince only partners with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices.
Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Doesn't that feel good?
Mm-hmm.
It's really a no-brainer. And by the way, it's not just cashmere. We are talking a full range. They have accessories, they have slippers, they have jewelry, real jewelry, by the way, at insanely good prices. We're talking like real gold, real diamonds. By the way.
Gold? Diamonds?
They have handbags. They have just a great set. Oh, they even have a cashmere brush that I'm obsessed with and that I even brought.
Oh, you use that all the time. Comb. You've talked to me.
Yeah.
I've heard you yelling about this brush.
It's amazing. It's a little cashmere comb to get rid of pilling. It's amazing. And I use it on all my cashmere, not just my Quince cashmere. And there's stuff that everything I order from Quince, I'm just like, oh, another hit.
So get cozy in Quince's high quality wardrobe essentials.
Go to quince.com/Shandy for free shipping on your order and a whopping 365-day returns.
That's QUINCE.com/Shandy to get free shipping and 365-day return.
Quince.com/Shandy.
So Sharleen.
Yes.
You know what I've been doing a lot of these days?
I can't, this is too broad. Narrow it down for me.
I've been throwing food away.
Oh, I know. I was actually just thinking that because right now the garbage stinks.
It
stinks.
And
like
it's heavy. And it's wet.
Before we got rolling today, I said, we really have to take the garbage out today. It's gross. And it's got a stench that I had kind of forgotten existed because back home
in New York. On our countertop, we have our electric countertop composter, our Lomi, and you put in your food waste. And we are talking maybe leftovers that aren't enough to get a whole other meal out of, or maybe the parts of a pepper that you don't eat, or the apple core. You put all that stuff in, stuff that over time would get very wet and smelly and heavy. Instead, you put in the Lomi, and then with the push of one very large and very satisfying button, turns that food waste into nutrient-rich soil, which we then sprinkle on plants, but we don't have that here. And so instead we're throwing out food and it's living in the garbage and it just smells.
And you know what I saw on the garbage lid?
What?
I saw Mr. Fly.
Oh, Mr. Fly.
Mr. Fly came to visit.
Yes.
Wanted to check to see if everything was okay.
Yes.
Have a little snack.
Yes.
And be on his way. Actually, no, not be on his way.
No,
he's still here.
He's
I can
sticking
actually
around.
see him.
Yes, Lomi has really been transformative for us. We love this composter. I just think it's such a cool, I mean, this is technology.
Technology for good.
Yes.
That's what technology should be, for good.
Yes.
And for porn. All you're doing by not using a Lomi is just inviting bacteria into your house. You're like, come on. And they don't come by the 2s and 3s. They come by the billions and trillions. Do you want that? Do you want a trillion uninvited guests in your house who stink, farting
stop.
all day?
Make it stop. So if you're ready to make a positive environmental impact or just make cleanup a breeze, Lomi is exactly what you need.
Head over to lomi.com/Shandy and use code Shandy to get $50 off your Lomi.
That's $50 off at lomi.com. That's LOMI.com/Shandy with code Shandy at checkout.
Say goodbye to food waste and hello to a greener, cleaner kitchen with Lomi.
And with the holidays coming up, Lomi makes a perfect gift for someone on your shopping list. He puts a robe on her and says, I'm not trying to be fresh. And she says, you can be fresh.
Let me tell you something. Pascal, it would take so little for me to go home with Pascal.
He knows what he's doing, and he is always still respectful. Like, it would be so easy for his way to veer into kind of like territory. But he brings out a side of Joan that we don't see with anyone else.
Yeah.
Even with Chock, like, she's definitely more like romantic with Chock, but with Pascal, she's like flirty. Yeah. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
She's sort of like, you can be fresh. I was like, ooh, Joan.
Yeah. No, she wants him in the fantasy suite.
Yeah. Yeah, she's attracted to him.
I think she might even say to him in the fantasy suite, listen, I'm using you. I just want to have sex with you. I'm not picking you. And he's like, I know. I don't expect you to pick me.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that it's...
He's like, but let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it right here.
She gets a hand massage.
Oh.
I was really hoping he was going to cut her hair.
Yeah.
Come on. Would that not have been great?
Yeah, it could have been like Ghost with hair though.
Ghost with hair. What's the song?
And I hunger for your touch. I need your love.
Yeah, that song, that song has been kind of ruined for me by that movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's so, like, I can't hear that song and be like, oh, that's just beautiful. Instead, it's like, each time.
If you ever want to have that song come back to life for you, listen to the live Elvis version that he sings right before he died.
Oh.
This is I think it's the last Unchained Melody, the last song he ever sang. There's a video of it. I think maybe this might be urban legend. Maybe there was one other song he sang, but I believe the last video of him ever singing, he's at the piano and he's doing this just absolutely amazing version of Unchained Melody. And he turns to the camera at one point and like gives that like Elvis smile, where he's like in the middle of the song, he's like playing piano. He's just like, huh. He gives that like,
yeah.
And his face is so fat. Like he's so, you can't, almost unrecognizable, but like right in the center, you're like, oh yeah, that's Elvis. And that was it. That was the last video of him ever performing.
Wait, but so the expression he makes, is it sad?
No, it's happy. It's like he's giving
Yeah, but it's sad. It's it's fake happy.
No, it was like he really felt it. This was his last thing. He felt it.
Oh, I don't know. That sounds sad to me.
You're really turning this story. Like I was driving the car. Just
I mean,
let me
you're
drive.
talking about how it's the last performance. He's playing Unchained Melody. He's gained so much weight. He's unrecognizable, and he's playing this horribly sad song. And then he looks in the camera and gives this smile. It's the last video they have of him performing. You're telling me that that's like a happy moment?
No, it's bittersweet.
Okay.
It's not. I'm telling you that Elvis in that moment felt that smile.
Okay.
It wasn't just pandering. He
No,
was
I'm not saying pandering. I'm saying that he's like a show pony. He doesn't even know what it is.
Yeah,
It's
but
like
that's
it's
what
like
he was.
It's automatic.
Elvis was a showman. He couldn't stop. He performed like 400 days a year.
Okay.
Let the man have his little smile before he croaks on the toilet.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm just saying that it's more tragic than you're making it sound.
It's bittersweet.
Okay.
The man lived a fast life.
How did we get to this? Hand massages?
I'm saying listen to that version and you'll appreciate the
Oh.
song again.
Okay.
And watch the video. You
Okay.
see what I'm talking about. You feel bad about making fun of my story.
Okay, so we wish that Pascal had cut Joan's hair. Wow. They chat
And what
now.
I'm saying is that you wouldn't recognize it's Elvis until he made the smile.
Oh.
That's the point.
Okay.
I'm not sure I made that point.
Okay, so Pascal tells Joan that he's had his heart broken. He might be guarded. So basically he's like, I'll need time.
Yeah.
And she says he holds back in group settings, and he says he's still got some walls up, but he definitely would like to have a companion. And then he drives her in a fancy sports car. I wrote Maserati ? But I really don't know.
I think it was a Maserati.
Really?
I 50-50.
Well, I mean, when he put her in this car, I was like, where did they find this guy? And Andy, you said, I think he found them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Do you want to explain? Does it need an explanation?
I mean, look, the man wants to promote his salon.
You think?
I have
His salon doesn't seem to need promotion.
Can I just say something?
It seems like he's doing
I don't want you to go down this road. I'm going to tell you right now, I have not one bad thing to say about Pascal. I have not one judgment. I think he's a beautiful man, and I think it's fully in his right and smart to try to go on this show to promote his salon. You think just because he has a big salon, he doesn't want more big salons and a bigger big salon? You think that guy, you think Pascal stops at one big salon?
No, I think his salon is successful, and I think he's probably satisfied with his level of success. I mean, he's made it very clear he's satisfied with his level of success. I think Pascal has always known that he's special, which he is.
Yeah.
Pascal is special.
He's special.
And he's special beyond a way where you just have your name on a salon. Sure. I think he's like, this is a hurrah for him. He's almost 70 years old. He's on TV. He's going to be recognized everywhere he goes. This man was destined for some kind of fame. I'm sorry, he was.
And I agree. And I don't fault him one bit for
No.
going on the show without the intention of finding love. Pascal is not on the show to find love.
Yeah,
I stand my ground on that.
I do believe he's sincere in wanting to meet
I think
someone.
he's sincere in all the words he said. I think he likes Joan.
Yeah.
I think he enjoys her company. I think he's a gentleman and
Yes.
he's never going to treat her badly.
Yeah.
But Pascal is not on this show to find love. Pascal is on this show to make Pascal bigger and to make his salon bigger in the most benevolent way.
Okay.
And I totally support it.
Yeah. No. Okay. I don't think it. We'll see if people disagree with you, but I do not think they will. I just don't want it to come off like we're criticizing him, because I just really like him. Like, he's so likable.
Honestly, it makes me want him to be Bachelor more.
No, yes.
I want to see you guys just like, I want to be a big shot. Like,
Yes.
I was born to be a big shot.
He
I'm going to be a big
was.
shot. I'm going to be the Bachelor. Let
Yes.
him do it. Maybe he will find love. That'll be
Yes.
the twist. The twist is the guy you thought he was above it finds love on TV.
Yes. And then he gets both. He gets to also be famous.
Yeah, and have huge salons everywhere around the world.
So they meet his family now, and again, we see the side of Joan that comes out here.
Yeah.
She's asked what her first impression was of him, and she says, "Oh, I don't want to say it in front of the kids."
I'm telling you, Joan is she's
in.
gunning. She's gunning for that.
She says she thought he was sexy, and Pascal. There's something so funny about him. He's like, look where I am today. Like, I forgot really the context that led into this, but it was a little sort of like out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
There's something so like, he has this arrogant charm to him that really works. It's not annoying.
It's an extremely difficult razor's edge to walk. To be
Yes.
full of yourself and charismatic and endearing.
Yes, and he manages it. And she chats with his son Maxim now. She asks if Pascal has had a lot of girlfriends. He says yes.
And she says, is he ready to settle down? And Maxim claims that he is. And now Pascal chats with his son. And we see Pascal's softer side here. He breaks down in tears, just thinking that he maybe has done a good job as a dad. You can tell his son just thinks the world of his dad.
His son is into Pascal.
It's
and he
cute.
should be.
It's cute. He's like, he says to Joan, he's my idol.
Yeah.
My idol. How often do you hear that? He's my idol. There's something old school about that. My father's my idol.
Because Pascal carries himself like an idol.
Yeah.
He refuses to be seen as anything but an idol.
Maxim says he saw a happiness in his dad and he actually cried, which he has never. Do you think this is an exaggeration? He says he's never seen his father cry.
I believe him. I believe that Pascal is the kind of guy who doesn't cry.
He's a tough cookie.
Tough. Yeah, it takes a lot for Pascal
That's like
to cry.
he's like rough childhood tough.
Yeah.
You can see it. Joan chats with Pascal's daughter now. She says that Pascal is like John. He's epic. He lives big. And Joan says her biggest fear is she'll pick Pascal and he won't pick her. Natalie seems to think this is doubtful, but I don't know. I think that there's some truth in this. And we get, you know what I liked about these hometowns is we heard Joan say the things that we have been thinking. So we heard her say about Pascal, I think that if I picked him, he wouldn't pick me. And she says this about Jordan too. And they're the two people that were like, I'm not sure if it's reciprocated. Like it was kind of refreshing to hear like there be someone other than a producer behind a camera for her to express these things to.
Yeah.
And we get a scene now of Joan with the grandson. Oh yeah, the famous scene where he asks.
The famous scene.
The famous scene where the grandson asks Joan, did you kiss my grandpa?
Yeah, how great are kids' teeth before they get their adult
Oh my
teeth?
God, they're so
I had
cute.
amazing teeth when I was, like they were, every single tooth was going a different direction. Yeah. It's like a shark without the sharpness.
This seems to end seemingly promisingly, but Andy, you still weren't buying it.
No.
I was confused by the editing of Pascal in this episode personally, because I thought that this ended very like, oh, hopeful. Like he really is looking to settle down. He isn't just a player, blah, blah, blah. But then at the end of the episode, she's like, oh, two hometowns didn't go according to plan.
Yeah.
She puts him in the same bucket as Jordan, who was all like shifty-eyed and
confusing.
non-committal. I understand Pascal was a little non-committal too, but I thought he explained it better, which was like, I got my heart broken fairly recently and I'm going to need time, but I'm very like into you.
Maybe Pascal's not just giving her that like real, like,
well,
I love
she
you. Like
likes,
that guy love.
She likes it to come on strong.
She does.
She
I don't
does.
think Guy would be there if it weren't for his love for her.
100%.
Yeah, that's what's carrying him.
Yeah. You're right. The two people who are the two front runners are the two who are coming on the strongest.
And Pascal's too cool.
Yes.
He's not going to do that, even if it means like winning the show, which could help his salon.
Okay, so hometown number 2 in Chicago.
By the way, Maxim, his son Maxim,
Yeah.
this part was bothering me. The name Max,
Yeah.
it's either Maxwell or Maximilian.
I think it's
Is it-
Maximilian.
That
But Max-
Maxwell is not a name? That's the last name?
Like a coffee.
Maxwell House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maxwell.
Maybe it's the last
But
name.
I think his name, I mean, it's French. It's like Maxime.
So Maximilian is
I think
the name.
no, but I think Maxime is a French name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Maximilian, I've always been a fan of the name Maximilian.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know why
fantastic.
people with the name Maximilian call themselves Max. I feel like I would insist upon every time you say my name, Maximilian.
The third. Okay, so now we have the second hometown in Chicago, third hometown overall. This is Jordan. Joan, I want to touch on what she's wearing. She's wearing cropped, straight blue jeans with a hot pink tee, and I liked this.
Yeah.
I liked this tee.
I also liked it.
Yeah, I thought
liked
this
it.
tee was
Yeah,
like...
it looked hot.
Yeah, it was kind of like a TV choice, and I really liked it.
yeah.
Okay, Joan is going into this saying Jordan has a very young attitude, and I was thrilled by the wording of this because I feel like I've been
Totally
saying
agree.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been saying this for weeks.
Feels like a kid.
Yeah, he has a youthful, he behaves like a 30-year-old.
Basically,
Like he speaks like a 30-year-old.
I could see that guy like in college. Like,
Yes. He takes her for deep dish pizza and gives her that famous rainbow layered cake.
That
we've
cake
seen.
looked very good. I'm a sucker for colors, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to me, I don't
Oh,
need a
no?
color. I think that it,
Yeah, I'm fooled
to
by
me, I see all that
colors.
food coloring. I'm like, what are you trying to cover up?
Oh.
Yeah. What are you compensating
Oh,
for?
wow. That's a good point.
A cake like that, you know what it has? Is SDE.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I can't believe you're impugning the manhood of that cake.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary.
It's true though. I think you're right.
Yeah, like I look at that and my brain.
Peacocking.
It's
Why
peacocking.
are you peacocking?
Yes.
Just go. You know you taste good. Just
Yeah.
be
Well,
white.
do you
Just
know
a
you
white
know
cake.
you taste good? You clearly don't know.
No,
if you
but
taste
you
good.
don't know. I'm saying if you do know you taste good, you just go in like a yellow flour cake.
Yes.
Like nothing.
Yes.
Just white frosting and yellow flour. I don't need to show you anything.
Well, because it's like playing tricks with you. You're like, oh, like it's making the experience more like flamboyant than it needs to be, when really it's about the taste. And instead you're going into like eating blue cake thinking like flavor, like extra something, like what's specialness, like it like is messing with you.
I kind of to be honest, it does fool me sometimes.
Yeah,
If
I
I
know.
eat something that's red, it tastes good.
I take my dessert very seriously. Another thing I took issue with was the fact that they were eating this cake on a windy bridge.
What's wrong with that?
I'm sorry, dessert is meant to be savored, not like this looked like a challenge. It looked like they were like trying to keep hair out of their face, and I don't know, the holding the plate with the cake. I was just like, go sit down somewhere where there's no wind and enjoy your cake.
You have a wind requirement for dessert eating?
It's that I want to focus on my dessert.
Damn, you love desserts.
I don't want to be eating dessert while also trying to keep hair out of my mouth.
I've seen people who like dessert. I've never seen people respect dessert
I
like you.
respect dessert.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, I challenge any Shandy to respect dessert more than this woman.
I
right
have
here.
very good taste in dessert. Okay, so they meet his family now. He's got 3 brothers. Somehow this did not surprise me.
Yeah, he feels like a multiple brother guy.
He does. So cute how one of his daughters cries upon seeing him. He does
nice.
seem to have like a really lovely family
He's just
life.
a pal. He seems like they're equal. Didn't
Yeah.
it feel like he was like the same age as everybody in the
Totally. His
kids?
daughters, his brothers,
Yeah.
they all seemed like the same age.
Yeah.
And it was really cute too how when they bring up the skating and she's making fun of how he fell, he says in his ITM, making fun of me is a pastime of the family, so she fit right in. Something about this said so much about him in a good way.
You know what? He seems like the kind of guy who is made fun of a lot and
Can laugh at himself.
lets it roll off his shoulders.
Yes.
That's a good combo.
Oh, well, that's one of my favorite things about you.
Oh.
Like, yes, you're funny, but you can laugh at yourself, which opens up a whole other dimension of funniness.
Well, life is very stressful if you can't laugh at yourself.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
No.
I can think of a couple people who can't laugh at themselves.
I think that's a horrible way to be.
Yeah.
Can
Horrible.
you imagine?
No, I can't imagine. Well, I mean, I can imagine, which is why I don't want to do it.
Yeah, yeah. Life is very stressful. That was cute. So here we got
By the
word-
way, back on the ice skating. How is it possible that not only Jordan doesn't ice skate, but none of his brothers ice skate
well,
in Chicago?
it is possible. They clearly the family didn't get the memo on ice skating.
That's insane. That's like a whole family in Canada not playing hockey.
It would be weirder if his family was like, oh yeah, Jordan's the one who doesn't ice skate.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like clearly the whole family never
Oh,
went
they
ice
just chose maybe the parent, one of the parents had a traumatic experience with ice skating. Similar to the one that Jordan may have had.
It's sort of like my family in tennis, like or golf. No, my dad plays golf, but my whole family in tennis, like we don't play tennis.
Yeah, but tennis is not a national sport of Canada. Ice skating is like a thing. You skate in Chicago. It's freezing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of water. There's water everywhere.
Do you skate on the river?
I think you do. I think they open it up for skating. That river gets solid as a rock.
Are you sure?
I don't know anything. I don't know.
Because you're making it sound like the Ottawa Canal.
If there was a gun to my head, I would say that people skate on the river in Chicago.
I have to correct. I said canal. I meant canal. I'm sorry.
You said canal?
I said canal, but I meant canal. And I was like, who just said that?
Yeah, no.
But you're making it sound like this body of water that people skate on in the winter. You're telling me that's what happens?
It seems to me if there's a famous river in the middle of a city where skating is a big thing and it gets so cold that river freezes solid, I think people skate on it.
Well, we are going to find out in the comments. Okay, so here we get Word Watch 2. Jordan is talking about this experience being condensed, and his brother jumps in saying, I met my wife in June. We knew we were going to get engaged in August.
You notice what he said? He said, my wife.
Yeah. Well,
You took that away from me.
well, no, because we got a wife from Charles L. earlier.
You took it away from me last week.
I didn't take it away from you.
I
There were
wanted
more
to do
wives
it.
because of
Yeah, well,
my
now,
adjustment.
because of what you did, we don't get a Borat impression.
You can just go live.
No, I won't. I won't do that.
So basically, Jordan's brother is a believer. And now Jordan chats with his daughter. I love this question she asked. Are you having deep conversations or is it surface level? Kind of a leading question. He straight up says he's not ready for an engagement, shocking nobody. And Joan, meanwhile, says that she's worried that if she picked Jordan, he wouldn't pick her. The daughter she's speaking with, I cannot remember which one, reports that Jordan told her that Joan said about him that he's got more walls up than anyone else there. He seems kind of like...
Yeah.
Surprised?
I think Jordan is just, this has become basically a joke for Jordan.
Yeah. This was done on a lark.
Yeah.
He was
defending himself. He wasn't defending his relationship with Joan.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not a guy who puts up walls.
Jordan's having an experience.
He is 100% having an experience. I would go as far as saying if Jordan got to the point where he felt like he was actually going to win, he would immediately peace out.
100%. Jordan is giving me heavy self-elimination vibes.
He's so unbelievably not there.
Yeah.
And I totally respect that. He's a very capable bachelor,
yes,
so to speak. And there came a point in the show, maybe he came for love, but there came a point in the show where he's like, not happening.
No.
And the rest of it is just a joke for him. He's just having hors d'oeuvres, hanging out, and enjoying the TV time.
Totally. They chat outside now and talk about how big a step they've taken each time they hang out. I mean, this is so awkward.
He can't hold in the laugh. Have you noticed that Jordan sometimes can't hold in his laugh when he's having conversations?
Well, he's also shifty-eyed. Like he doesn't hold. He'll like look at her and like shift away.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It's like he's lying.
He's totally lying, but in a fun, lighthearted way.
Yeah, not in a mean way.
No,
he's
he
just
knows
like,
Joan's not picking him.
Yeah,
and Joan knows that he's not getting picked.
Totally. This ends with weird clowny music as he kisses her goodbye. And the vibe is very ominous. But come on. It's like,
there's no losers in this situation.
No.
Having clear and beautiful skin should be apostrophe easy.
It is apostrophe easy, Andy. So apostrophe, one of the OG sponsors here at Dear Shandy. I will continue to sing the praises of apostrophe from the rooftops. So transformative has it been to my skincare regimen. Because I used to, by the way, go to a doctor, go to the dermatologist to get a prescription for prescription skincare. And now I don't have to do that. Because with apostrophe, I never have to leave the sofa. I just fill out their online skin consultation. I take selfies of my skin and describe what my skincare concerns are. And then I submit those, and a board certified dermatologist reviews that information and then prescribes you skincare. And then the cherry on top is it's shipped directly to your door. You never have to go wait in line in that miserable line. There's a miserable line at the pharmacy.
No one wants to do that.
To pick up your prescription.
You know, I had to get a prescription that had nothing to do with my skin at the pharmacy the other day. And I did have to wait in line. And you know what I was standing next to? Someone who decided to talk to me unsolicited about politics and wasn't on the side that I was on.
Oh, no.
So let that be a warning.
Yes, you can treat not only wrinkles and fine lines, but also acne. That's a big one. And not only face acne, chest knee, back knee, and butt knee as well.
That's right.
If you are the kind of person that's like, I want to take my skincare up a notch, I want to see a difference, prescription skincare is very likely your answer. So we have a very special deal for our listeners, the Shandies. Right now, you can get your first visit with an apostrophe provider for only $5 when you go to apostrophe.com/Shandy and enter promo code Shandy at checkout. That is a savings of $15, and this offer is only available to our listeners.
To get started, just go to apostrophe.com/Shandy and click Get Started.
Then use our code Shandy at sign up, and you'll get your first visit for only $5. And we thank Apostrophe for sponsoring this episode.
Squarespace.
So Squarespace, we break into song with Squarespace because we love it so much.
Yeah.
We will never stop singing the praises of Squarespace, which is a fantastic platform for building a beautiful, professional looking website with little to no design experience. I cannot stress this enough. I am on Squarespace all the time.
Yes, you are.
I really am. I go on Squarespace at least once a week. updating various things on my singing website, charlenejoint.com. Go check it out. Maybe dearshandy.com, our podcast website. Our wedding website was on Squarespace. My blog is on Squarespace. I mean, I spent a lot of time on Squarespace. And by the way, their customer service.
Award-winning. Literal award-winning.
And okay, so we actually had a recent experience. We haven't shared this yet, but we have started selling merch. So that's the whole e-commerce thing. Oh, I'm wearing.
You buy this t-shirt right now.
I'm wearing.
We're advertising t-shirts on a Squarespace. Are we allowed to do that?
Yes, because on Squarespace is where you would buy.
Oh, how convenient. What a
Yes.
great cross-marketing opportunity.
Right?
Oh.
So so you have e-commerce. That's one of the many things you can do with Squarespace. But what's so cool about our experience with them is we had a relatively urgent question about like a payment discrepancy. And I opened like
And we were panicked,
we
too.
were, because it
Yeah.
was like the time was ticking.
Yeah.
And we had to open a ticket. And I was like, oh, you know when you fill out those forms?
You're like, this is never going to happen.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'll get an answer in like 36 hours when it is
way after I've already fixed it by doing 20 hours of work on my own.
Exactly. No, I got a reply in 17 minutes.
17 minutes.
And it solved all the problems, and we didn't need to panic anymore. That is Squarespace's customer service in a nutshell. Squarespace does that.
To feel pampered.
So quickly, you choose from one of their beautiful templates, and then from there, they have a million features. So we're talking gallery options. You can do a mailing list. You can have a blog. You can do e-commerce. You can sell products. You can do scheduling. You can do member areas. It's endless.
Endless.
So head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Shandy for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Again, that's squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Shandy for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Okay, so now we're in Wichita, Kansas for Chock's hometown. And Andy, when you saw Chock, you said, let me tell you about reverse mortgages.
Come on. Is it not? I mean,
Do you want to? I mean, he is an insurance executive. I know that's not the same thing as hawking reverse mortgages, but do you want to explain, Andy, what you meant by this? What were you getting at?
well, let me tell you. Some people think that reverse mortgages are just a trick to steal your home, but they're not. They're just a loan, like any other loan. And they're a great way to pull equity out of your home as a senior. Do you want me to tell you more?
This is not a good commercial because no, you wouldn't lead with the impression people have that's
trust
negative.
me, you would lead with it.
No, you
because
wouldn't.
they've gotten so much flack that if you don't lead with it, then it's suspicious. Trust me.
I think you would say some people like don't understand what reverse mortgages really are. Or you wouldn't say some people think it's a trick.
You've probably heard some things about reverse mortgages, taking advantage of seniors, stealing your money,
That's a lot.
bankrupting you. They're all lies. And I'm here on my own accord, not getting paid to tell you that reverse mortgages are where it's at.
Who's the actor? Is it Tom Selleck?
Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
But I can't stop seeing or hearing Chock.
Oh.
Chock was born to do reverse mortgage ads.
I feel like that's an insult.
Not
I don't
really. No, he's got a good voice.
Good face.
He's convincing in a way that could be slimy.
Yeah.
But he's not.
yeah.
But he may be. But he's probably not.
People seem to think, okay, it's interesting. People do not like Chock.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of,
Would you like a guy who's trying to sell you a reverse mortgage?
okay. I feel like Chock is a little misunderstood. And it's not like I'm like, ooh, I love Chock. I just feel like the amount of criticism he gets for like, it's like subtle things. It's like people are just trying to find things to hate about. I just don't find Chock that bad.
I don't find Chock hateable at all. Is Chock hiding some skeletons in the closet? Possibly. But I don't think they're big.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I actually do have a very important correction to make because I made the mistake of saying last week that I predicted if they did end up together that he would have a hard time competing with the memory of John. And I had forgotten.
Me too. I also made this mistake.
Yeah, but it was mainly me talking. So I just have to correct this.
Yeah.
He lost Kathy, who he was engaged to for 7 years. And I mean, he was so close with her and her family that her father is at this hometown. I mean, I feel so awful that I got that one wrong. So thank you to those many people corrected me. No. And so yes, I definitely got that one wrong. No. So
if you own your home and you do need to pull out cash, there's nothing wrong with a reverse mortgage.
Okay, here we get Word Watch 3. Chock says, my father is here and his wife, Beth, of 35 years. His wife, Andy.
Turns out Kathy's father, Tom, is here, like I said, and he says they're going to celebrate his mother's life that day in a special way. So we meet Chock's children, and Andy, you said Chock's children. Sounds like a lunch place.
Right?
Yeah. Chock's children?
Yeah.
A lunch place? Sounds like a lunch place where you eat the children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chock tells his enormous family that he got the first date, the first kiss, and he's going to get the last. And this is, I think, an example of something Chock does that people don't like.
Yeah.
Like he does have a tendency to sort of act a little overconfident, comes on a little strong. But I think that we saw a lot in this hometown that it stems from a clear fear of getting rejected. And it feels sort of like he's being like a little too confident to compensate for his fear.
Yeah, he's honest about it.
Yeah, he is. I think so.
I think Chock's a good man.
I'm
going to go out there and say it.
So they now plant an oak tree representing strength and resilience to celebrate his mother's life. And this was really beautiful.
Yeah.
A lot of people say a few words and then they, put
nice.
some earth.
By the way, planting a tree is the best thing you can do.
Yes.
It's the best thing you can do.
He had an oak tree.
Oak tree will be you know what's great about planting a tree?
Yeah.
If you do it right, it'll be alive well after you're gone.
Yes.
And probably after your kids are gone, and very possibly after your grandchildren are gone.
Honestly, one of my fantasies about us maybe having a country place one day.
Yeah.
This is our fantasy.
Your fantasy? I've been having this fantasy since I was like 10. But I respect your fantasy as well. It's both of our fantasies. It's a shared
Why did
fantasy.
you take this
No, it's
from me?
our fantasy.
But it's, we one day hope to be able to make that happen.
Yeah.
But I just have this image of you planting trees.
No.
And you'd be so excited. And I know you would just think about the lighting and the moisture and the location, like the shade.
Yeah.
And I just know you would put so much love into where you would put each
That's
tree.
very sweet. It shows how much you see me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you would not want it to be too close to your garden.
No,
because you wouldn't.
It would take over the garden.
Yeah,
the roots, tree roots.
Yeah.
They can really, they go like hundreds of miles.
You would think very carefully where you put these trees.
Yeah, I would, and I will be doing that.
Yeah,
this will happen.
I hope so.
Yeah, I will. Before I leave this earth, there will be many trees planted by me.
Yes. Okay, so Chock cries here and says Joan was his rock. And Joan chats with Chock's children now. She says she's crazy about their dad and talks about the relief she felt when he returned after having left. And such a touching, to me, this was just the most moving scene in the entire episode when Joan chats with Kathy's father, Tom Sr.
He's a star.
Oh my God. What this man, his face, like what?
It's like pain incarnate. That man is just.
But also, like there was a
love.
Pain
love. And love. You take pain and love and you mix it. That's
I
him.
felt like the fact that he absolutely loves Chock still and Chock loves him enough that you could see there was like a father-son love between them.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone could look at that and still like find a way to really actively dislike Chock.
Yeah.
I think it says so much about Chock as a human being that her father, Kathy's father, is still in his life in this capacity.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
I feel like there's antiquity in this family. This family is basically a living Norman Rockwell painting.
Yeah.
Everything, the whole thing.
They actually remind me, I buy these oats. I forgot.
Oh, oats.
Yeah, these sprouted oats in the States. They don't have them here, but these sprouted oats, and there's this family on the back of them, or the family that like grows the oats, and they remind me of that family.
They probably are the family that grows those oats. It's Chock's oats.
Chock's children's oats. And there's this moment where Tom Sr. says, "I hope you choose him. I really mean that." And Joan gives him this knowing look. Doesn't it feel like, and look, I know this could have been editing. Her expression could have been in response to something else. So I'm not necessarily putting too much stock in this, but it did feel kind of authentic that she was
I don't
like,
think they needed to use stock footage.
No.
I think she just said, yeah, I'm picking him.
if anything, you would think that they would do an expression of like to throw us off the scent.
Yeah.
Because who is not thinking, if anyone was doubting it was Chock before, which I doubt anyone was, they certainly aren't doubting it now after
Is it
this hometown.
possible that production at this point is like they're too inside of it to see properly from the outside? Like, do they think there's any suspense?
No,
here?
I think something's going to happen because the preview suggests that, she says, "Oh, is Chock
have his feelings changed for me, and they kind of make it seem like he's waffling. I don't buy it either. So Chock now chats with his father, who looks incredible.
Full head of hair. The guy's got to be pushing 90, if not over 90.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, he had said his mother was like 90, 91.
I mean, that guy is sharp as a tack.
It's unbelievable. Chock asks, this is a Chockism to me. So first they're talking about, Joan, and his father says after meeting her, it all makes sense because they emphasize that this is not like Chock. I like this. I appreciate this backstory. Chock is not the kind of person who goes on reality TV and falls in love.
No.
But then he asks his father how much he thinks. So Chock asks Jay how much Jay thinks Joan cares for him, for Chock. And to me, again, this is the kind of thing where I feel like people might watch and be like, oh, he's like fishing for compliments. He wants, like there's this sort of like this energy about Chock that feels like he's like really like possessive or a little like cloying. But I actually think, again, it comes from the insecurity. Yeah. I think that he's like trying to gauge. He's like, do you think it's me? Like I don't want to get hurt.
I agree.
So Chock and Joan chat outside. Sorry, the whole thing is outside. So they chat somewhere else outside. And she says some of the guilt she feels is how she's living on while John isn't. But she says that big black hole, it doesn't look so big and black. wait,
nice.
That's not how it's worded. She says that big black hole, it doesn't look like a big black hole anymore.
I no comments.
And he says, promise not to break my heart. That's my vulnerability. They make out. I wrote, who the hell is beating this guy? And Andy, you said, this is the most ridiculous Final Four I've ever seen.
Yes.
Because it's too obvious.
Too obvious.
And as they walk, he says, I'm falling in love with you. I loved how he said this. He sort of said it like in a sentence. He was like, well, and because I'm falling in love with you. It felt really natural. And then the camera was like swirling around them. Andy, you said, oh, they got the low circle cam.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's the end right there. They knew it.
It's too... something bad has to happen.
Something temporarily bad, but it's...
Something bad.
I don't know. Maybe. Who cares?
So now we have... Who cares? Do you not care anymore?
No, but I know it's not going to mean anything. Something bad may happen, but this is happening.
So you said last week that you just want to see the finale.
His mother already died. What else is going to happen?
No, that's a good point. It's okay. So last week you said that you've kind of lost your investment in the season because it's too obvious. So do you still feel that way? You just want to see the finale?
I know he's winning.
Yeah.
And even if he's not, somehow there's something at the end where Jesse's like, and this is going to be the most surprising ending. It doesn't matter. He's won. It's just a matter of whether he stays around for the victory.
Oh.
He's won though. It's over.
What do you mean stays around for the
Meaning
victory?
like something may happen where, I don't know. I don't know.
What are you saying?
He's winning.
What are you suggesting?
I'm saying maybe there's some twist where he's like, I've got some soul searching to do. I don't know if I'm ready for engagement. I don't know. Nothing's happening. He's winning.
Wait, okay. So I could picture a world in which when Chock realizes that it definitely is him. No, Chock loves that.
Why are you pushing this on me?
No,
he's winning. There's nothing that's happening.
Yeah, no, you're right. I agree. Okay, never mind. I didn't say anything. Okay, so now we have our rose ceremony. We're back in Los Angeles. Joan says tonight is a very difficult rose ceremony. And Andy, you guffawed.
Absurd. Is it a difficult? Is it difficult to whether what is difficult? This is the least difficult rose ceremony in the history of the show.
Yeah, and the vibe too, Joan is saying, is it's unsettling. Two of the men have been non-committal. They're kind of suggesting that she might send both of them home. I was sort of hoping she might. I think Pascal's going to be Golden Bachelor.
He's going to be Golden Bachelor. And I will say something else. And this is nothing against Joan. I think Joan's being a little bit of a producer's pet right here.
Oh.
Like, this is BS. It's not tough. She was told to they're like, you got to make it sound tough, which is getting a little obvious.
I want Pascal to be Golden Bachelor, but I'm not sure he's going to be Golden Bachelor.
I feel pretty confident.
Wow.
Why? Who do you think is going to be Golden Bachelor? It's not going to be Guy.
No, and I don't think it's Jordan. Jordan doesn't have the...
No, it's not Jordan.
I really like Jordan, but I don't think...
Could be Jonathan.
It could be Jonathan.
Could be Jonathan.
Yeah.
Although it's kind of unfair. Jonathan looks like he's 30. It's going to be weird.
Okay, so let's talk about Joan's outfit. She's wearing a scarlet red mini sequin dress with an embellished matching belt, and her hair is down.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know your thoughts on this dress, Andy.
I had mixed feelings.
Oh.
I thought it looked like it would taste good if it was like a slushy,
Oh.
but I don't think it feels good to touch.
Well, speaking of red.
Oh, yeah.
Is there any slushy better than a red
No,
slushy?
There's no, honestly, to me, there's no slushy other than a red slushy.
I would also go for blue raspberry.
It's okay, but I always feel a little gross afterwards. I feel like red's healthier than blue.
I have to admit, when it comes to flavors, red is king.
Yeah. Red.
Cherry.
All reds.
And in worst case scenario, strawberry. Like, it's still good.
Yeah. The only red that sometimes is a problem is cranberry. But even used in the right ratios, cranberry is excellent.
Let's be honest. Cranberry is not. It's
not
never.
red.
You're not upset about it. It's not upsetting the way like lime is upsetting.
No.
In a
Unless
sugary
cranberry's
flavor.
it's too much cranberry, then it's too tacky. Too
tart.
Too much tartness.
Yeah, but then that's like a sensory experience.
You're right. Red always wins.
Yep.
A pomegranate,
Yes.
the most underrated, not underrated, but underappreciated, not eaten enough. More pomegranate should be eaten. That's an amazing
I'm going to be
fruit.
honest. I think pomegranate is eaten the exact right amount for how inconvenient pomegranate is to eat.
Yeah, but you can get the pomegranates with the seeds taken out.
I know, but it's like, but it's not like
It feels
biting
gross.
into
It
a
feels like someone's
strawberry.
been touching your pomegranate.
touching your pomegranate. So it sounds like you have the same issues about eating pomegranate that you do about
Cut fruit.
edible arrangements.
Yes, exactly.
You don't like your food being handled.
No, I don't think fruit needs to be cut, except pineapples.
Okay, so to me, this dress, like, I think she looked really hot in this dress. Like, this was a real. I mean, speaking last week, I said her leather dress was like for the male gaze. Like, I think that once again, I thought this dress was beautiful she's ageless. I loved this. I love that she dresses in a way where it's like you have this idea of a 60-something-year-old woman and she's not wearing a mini sequin dress. And I love this about Joan, that she just wears what she wears and she always looks amazing. But I actually thought the dress itself was kind of like,
It was whatever.
it was whatever.
I
Like,
liked
I've seen
it.
this
To
dress
me, I
before.
thought she looked good. I'm a big thing about the sequins. I have an issue with sequins. They have to be used in a certain way.
With what?
Sequins.
Andy has long thought that it's sequence.
First of all, not long thought. There was a time when I thought it was sequins, and it's okay.
Did something happen that made you think it was sequence instead of sequence?
Because the way people say it, when you say the word sequence, you usually don't say sequence. The T is kind of lost. The word sequence. Oh, wait, that's not a word. Oh, I really stepped in it.
I would like you to spell.
I'm backing out of this
I would
one.
like you to spell how you think this word is spelled. Please spell it for all of us. We'd like to hear where this T enters the equation. Please, Andy.
I am very ashamed.
Hey, please tell us. Please, how is it spelled? How
SEQUENTS. Yeah, that's not how it's spelled. I
Okay,
know.
so how is it spelled?
SEQUENS.
And so a singular one is spelled.
A sequin is spelled without an S.
Okay, so it's SEQU.
EN. Oh, IN.
Yes!
Right.
Yes.
That's a ridiculous word. It's a ridiculous word. It sounds like the word sequence, like a sequence of numbers. And it sounds also like a word that doesn't exist, sequence with a T.
You know, I
which
will say a
made
lot
up.
of fashion terms are ridiculous.
Tell me the derivation of sequence. Where did that come
No,
from?
you're right.
Okay.
It makes no sense.
All right.
I agree. Don't worry. No one's judging you. They might be laughing though.
They really set me up for that one.
So Joan now tells Jesse the conversations she had were not what she expected from two of these men. She thought she'd feel more confident, but she only feels less confident. This, you're right. This is where she entered producer pet territory because it's so ridiculous. Like, it's so obvious that she's picking Chock. She's not into these other guys. She doesn't want it to feel different.
Not only is it obvious she's picking Chock, but to me, honestly, I'm not going to take any credit for the fact that we picked the order of the final four. I think it's so obvious that when she picked the order of the names, it was almost a joke as to like there being any other order. We were just sitting there. We were sitting there like Chock, guy, Pascal.
Yeah.
And everyone else was.
It's gone-
Who doesn't think this is the order?
This season has gone from being the least predictable because we thought Chock was leaving,
That's
and
right.
then the second he came back, it became the most predictable.
You know why? Because Joan is generally not giving a lot of cues with her emotions.
Yeah.
So we're completely lost at the beginning, but at the end, she's giving only one emotional cue, and that's
Yes.
to Chock.
Totally. And what's interesting is I think that the vibe here of her being like, oh, these men are non-committal, blah, blah, blah. I think the only way that is authentic is if it's coming from a place of ego where she's like annoyed that they're not like more into her because
Right.
that's what she wants. But I actually don't think that's Joan's personality at all. I don't think she has a big
I think
ego.
she's playing the game.
Yeah,
here.
I think that this is a producer.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay, so at this rose ceremony, the first rose goes to Chock, not surprising. Second goes to Guy, not surprising. And Andy, here you said, I think Jordan's psyched to be going home. And indeed, Pascal gets this third rose, meaning Jordan will be going home. I thought it was funny when she offered the rose to Pascal. He says, sure.
Yeah, I pulled a Sharleen.
So Andy, you were laughing over this whole exit, Jordan's exit. Andy was laughing hysterically, just watching Jordan's face. You just thought he didn't seem to give a shit. And even as they say goodbye, she's like, time was not our friend. And he's like, no. And then I think it's so funny that his entire exit, normally you get this limo exit.
Oh, no.
You get this like slightly teary moment. Instead, it's all about Guy.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
getting Guy's ITMs about how he has fallen in love.
Want me to do Jordan's limo exit?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Ready? Okay, I'm getting in the limo.
So Jordan, like, how are you feeling?
That was cool, wasn't it? Wasn't that funny? That was a great show.
a great experience. Yeah, they couldn't get one moment that was worth airing.
I guarantee you. 100%. And I'll Jordan, come on our show and you tell us. I know it's true. He was just having a ball in that limo.
Yeah.
He was laughing it up. It was like the after
Maybe
party.
not laughing it up, but
No,
I think he just
not-
didn't show any actual
No,
sadness.
none.
Yeah.
He may have been like, hey, can you crack the window back here? His little stuff. That was as sad as it got in that
Yeah.
limo.
Also, I do picture Jordan being like Jordan is
Jordan's going to be just fine.
well, yeah, but he's also like he's the comic.
Yeah.
He has the jokester energy.
Jordan knows how to make fun of himself.
Yes.
Therefore, happy.
So now Joan tells everyone they're going to Tahiti.
That's big.
Huge.
Tahiti, I feel like when I was a kid, Tahiti was a bigger deal. Is it my imagination, or is Tahiti kind of gotten overrun?
I agree. I feel like Tahiti is no longer. I feel like now
Yeah.
it's like
It's like
Bali.
on Boca. It's just like, oh yeah, Tahiti. Like when I used to hear Tahiti as a kid, like if you were going to Tahiti, that meant you were rich.
Really?
Yeah.
Tahiti.
No one went to. No one was like, oh yeah, I'm taking a little trip
To
to
me,
Tahiti.
yeah, no, but I'm
It
interested.
was like the Galapagos Islands is now.
Yeah.
That's what Tahiti used to be.
Oh, wow.
I think. Anyway, who
So
knows?
Chock, this is again another Chockism that I think would rub people wrong. He says, him plus Joan plus Tahiti equals she'd better accept his engagement. He says that. I think that he's just not aware of how this stuff comes off. I think he's just like afraid.
He is.
to be honest.
He's sort of acting like a kid, like a scared kid
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. But to me, this didn't. Chock doesn't rub me wrong. So I feel like people want him to rub us wrong, but he really doesn't.
Yeah. He doesn't rub me.
I
don't
actually
get
think-
rubbed by Chock.
Well, I think that he rubs Joan in the right way because I think she wants someone who's.
Well, we'll see if
who's
he
very
rubs
forward.
her in the right way. Next episode.
Do we really think he's not going to rub her in the right way?
No, he's going to rub her. So is Pascal.
I don't. You think?
I think Pascal's going to rub her in the righter way, but she just loves Chock more. The rubbing's going to be excellent from
And
Pascal.
so are we suggesting that Guy is going to be the weakest rubbing?
I think the rubbing from Guy is going to be just fine.
Mm.
Just fine.
Mm.
The rubbing from Pascal is going to be par excellence.
Okay, Andy, that brings us to your A game. Who is your winner?
I got to give it to Pascal.
Oh, okay.
This is, I mean, we're talking game, no one's going to beat Pascal. He's unbeatable.
I mean, Chock is
He's going to get whatever he wants. If Pascal wants to win, he'll win. If he doesn't want to win, he won't win. I don't think Pascal wants to win. I think he wants to come in like second or third.
Okay. All right. So Pascal.
Pascal.
Okay. And now our word watch, there were a total of 3.
Wives.
Oh.
No, it's your fault. You took it from
baby.
me. Could have had one.
Okay, and our winner is Jessica Chatham. Congratulations, you are the winner of $100 to spend at one of my all-time favorite Etsy shops, Furano Studio.
My wife. Sorry, couldn't resist.
Please email us, Jessica, by this Monday at midnight to claim your prize. And Andy, what is the word for next week?
Heartbroken.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so if you would like to join in the Shandy Word Watch fun and have a chance to win a prize, then you must guess the number of times you predict the word heartbroken will be uttered in episode 7. You must do so by commenting either below this YouTube video or over on the Instagram post for this recap. Using the numeral, you must do so by this Monday at midnight. You must be subscribed here on YouTube and following us on Instagram. And if you guess correctly, you will be entered in a draw and one name will be plucked and that person will win. And we have the same prize this week, such a fantastic prize. I am wearing all my rings are from her and my earrings also. Furano Studio. She's got such cute jewelry. I mean, it's my go-to.
Yeah.
It's my go-to for cute jewelry. So if you would like a chance to win some cute jewelry, $100 worth, then submit, join in. Comment.
Submit.
Oh, and we have a promo code on the screen and in the description if you are interested in jewelry and you don't want to wait to win. You just want a discount. Go check it out. All right. So that brings us, Andy, finally to our predictions. Shall we do our 1, 2, 3 name? Do we even need to bother?
Want to do 1, 2, 3 and just do the whole order?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Chock,
Chock,
Guy,
Guy, Pascal.
Pascal.
So we both think
Okay.
Pascal's going home. This is so not surprising. I mean, I don't even think they're hiding it. It almost makes me think something. I'm overthinking.
An October surprise.
I am putting it out into the universe. I'm hoping it comes back to me. I'm manifesting Pascal as a Golden Bachelor because I just think that would be like, I would want to watch that season. I think it would be entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to see him cut someone's hair.
Right?
I want him to give someone like a Vidal Sassoon cut. Like, it's probably a big deal. You get your hair cut by Pascal of the Pascal Salon.
And by the way, do you think, but you say, you naysay to my theory that he's doing this for marketing reasons. Do you think that if the haircut, let's say, what price are we going to put on Pascal giving you the full haircut on 3? We're going to say what we think the price is.
He's already said it. It's $175.
He does cuts for $175? That's less than I would have thought.
That's just a cut.
You know what that cut's going to be after the show?
It's more than I would pay for a haircut.
That cut's going to be between $250 and $300 now.
I think that if he were in Manhattan, it would be between $250 and $300.
Ugh, Manhattan.
Isn't it awful? Why do we live there? Let's just move to Ireland, please.
We're going to.
Yeah.
That's what I told the Irish Shandies at the opera.
Oh, yeah.
They looked at me weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like, that's not true. You're not moving to Ireland. I was like, yeah, you're probably right.
If you enjoyed what you heard today, you know what we will ask of you, and that is to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on Instagram, and
TikTok,
leave us Apple and
Spotify,
podcast ratings and reviews. Tell your friends and generally do all the things you would do to support a podcast you enjoy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Okay. Okay, Ruby,
come on. Come on, come to daddy.
Okay, we'll just let her have that.
Okay. Hey, sweetie. Who's your good girl? Who's your good girl?
Oh.
And back in the house.
I think honestly she just is like visiting each of us and she's like, okay, I want more peanut butter.
Yeah, she's like, do you have food? No. Do you have food? No.
Okay, thank you so much for tuning in and we'll see you next time on Dear Shandy. Bye-bye.